The sage has arrived. What do we got today? Today I'm talking about a show called Sentenced to be a Hero. I think it was produced by the same studio behind Mushoku Tensei. It started airing at the beginning of January, but I've only seen the first 5 episodes, so that's what this video is about. Before we get to the actual plot, we have to talk about the man who looked at the concept of life and thought, yeah, but what if it sucked? That man is Rocket Shoukei. Most authors write power fantasies where you get the girl, the gold, and the glory. Rocket Shoukei writes administrative nightmares. He looked at the hero's journey and decided it needed more unpaid overtime and existential dread. He's the only author I know who treats a resurrection spell like a binding 30-year-old mortgage with a 15% interest rate. Usually when people talk about a protagonist turning into a human reset button, the conversation goes straight into ReZero. But compared to Xylo, Subaru looks like he's playing on tutorial mode. In the beginning, Subaru dies because he's inexperienced and unlucky. When he dies, it's treated like a full-scale emotional catastrophe. There are tears, existential dread, dramatic speeches, and eventually, someone comforting him like he just survived the worst therapy session imaginable. However, in Sentenced to be a Hero, it's completely different. In Shoukei's world, dying isn't some tragic narrative moment. It's basically a clerical error. Xylo doesn't get a hug or a pep talk or a long emotional monologue when he respawns. The system just boots him back up like a malfunctioning office printer. No therapy, no reflection, just a slap on the back end and good news, you're still alive. Now get the hell back out there. We've all seen the hero trope. Usually it involves a guy who's never touched grass getting teleported to a world where he's suddenly the strongest man alive. But Sentenced to be a Hero takes a different approach. It asks, what if we took the physical manifestation of a Lincoln Park AMV from 2009 and told him he had to fight demons forever? The world opens by explaining that the worst criminals don't get the chair, they get the hero sentence. It's a genius move by the church. It's basically a Fortune 500 company finding a loophole in the Geneva Convention. If you die, they just hit the respawn button. It's eternal military slavery. Our main character is Xylo Forbarts. He's the former captain of the Holy Knights. He's got the black hair, the permanent scowl, and enough emotional baggage to trigger a TSA secondary inspection. He was sentenced for, allegedly, killing a goddess. So now he commands the penal unit 9004. Think the Suicide Squad, but without the high-budget soundtrack or Margaret Robbie to keep the views up. In the first episode, the kingdom's army is retreating because they're being overrun by fairies, which in this world aren't cute little Tinkerbells. They're corrupted monsters that look like they were designed by someone who had a panic attack in a botanical garden. Enter Theoretta. She's a sword goddess found in a giant coffin.
I am the great goddess Terita.
And because this is an anime, she's not a towering divine entity. She's a girl who acts like she's 5 and demands head pats. Her dress is held together by divine physics and a dream, while the animators clearly spent 90% of the budget on her eyes and the other 10% on making sure Xylo looks sufficiently miserable. Really, she's just the ancient, all-powerful being is actually a childish waifu trope. It's a law of nature. Miyazaki is currently waking up in a cold sweat somewhere. Xylo tries to refuse the contract because he's edgy and hates gods, but then a demon lord shows up, and he realizes that forming a contract is slightly better than being eaten.
Theorita, help me win.
He gets a power-up, defeats the enemy, and begins his journey of being the world's most overqualified babysitter. Episodes 2 and 3 introduce the Demon Blight. It's a virus where you hear voices before turning into a monster. It's a metaphor for the voice in my head telling me to buy more overpriced anime figures.
Leave me alone!
But here's the kicker. Every time a hero dies and revives, they lose a piece of their soul. Their memories, their emotions, it all just evaporates away. It's like losing your keys, except your keys are the first kiss and the ability to feel joy. Truly, the art of the deal. It explains why the penile heroes are so unstable. Imagine forgetting your mom's face just so you can fulfill your daily quota of goblin kills. That's darker than my search history during the 3 a.m. existential crisis. Next we have episode 4, or as I like to call it, the week the animation budget ran dry. 0 stakes, 0 deaths, and only 1 sword drawn. Basically a fantasy sitcom but without the laugh track to hide the pain. The crew hits the marketplace, and we find out Kivia is obsessed with ice cream. This is the critical lore I'm here for, knowing a dairy product is the only thing keeping her from committing a felony. Midway through we get the Venetum negotiation, It's a high dialogue scene, which is impressive for a show that usually solves problems with explosives. Veneton was sentenced to death because his Riz was a national security threat. He lied so hard the government got insecure. Unfortunately, his flashback was shorter than my attention span during a college presentation. It's a great premise, sentenced for being a professionally believable architect. But the show treats his backstory like a terms of service agreement. They just scrolled to the bottom and clicked accept without letting us read the fine print. By episode 5, we realized the church and kingdom are treating these disasters like military opportunities. Who could have guessed the giant religious monarch was corrupt? Insert Veneton, a high-level con artist who manages the unit. He hints that the war is manipulated right before a massive fairy army shows up to turn the Marine Forest into a slaughterhouse. Overall, the first 5 episodes are a solid, I hate being here experience. My enjoyment increases whenever they're in a dungeon because the stakes actually feel real. I'm getting like a 6, maybe 7. You got world building, main character's edgy, and is similar to my skin color. Not to mention he isn't a virgin by choice. He's just too busy being legally dead. Next video, I was thinking of covering Denji versus Yoru. Let me know if you're excited about that. If you made it to this point in the video, congrats. You successfully wasted 10 minutes of your life watching me. Thanks. See you later.